We are delighted to present members of Suffolk Poetry Society reading their work, inspired either by art that is important to them or about their experience of life at a time of crisis. The poems by our President, Kate FOLEY, are read by members of the committee. Modern Art, In the Cave of Nio, by Kate FOLEY. At first we are tourists, but we morph into visitors, treading the thin glaze of damp underfoot gingerly, as if it were their hall carpet. We hear messages, a drum, a thin bone pipe, a vibrating gut from animals time forgot. Wild vowels swoop round the echoes, guttural consonants hiss and scratch like a scatter of flint. The breath that sprays ochre round their widespread signature hands sings to the herds that flock on the dark face of the rock. How the past fingerprints the present, so every trace, smudge and contour is art.
This second poem is based on a portrait of Lee Miller painted by her husband Roland Penrose after she found out that she was unexpectedly pregnant at the age of 40. Lee Miller contemplates a new life. London, 1947. My face blue, shadowed, eyes downcast, as if to peer into my Raleigh's viewfinder, instead focused on this enormous belly, the genesis of a new world within. Lizard-like, something stirs, something alien.
Belly and Breasts, a response to Harmless Woman by Louise Bourgeois. No arms would mean no way to hug a child. No head would mean no wordy mouth, no Mary Wollstonecraft ideas. No legs would mean no escape. A woman, womb full of another, this parasite sucking her provender, its life held by a thread within her existing life. Here, hemorrhage, abortion, convulsion, infection, or even madness might come to claim her. Please God, this one's a boy, so he can be her last.
Roger West, Sylvia Plath in a cloche hat. She was struck by the way Madame spoke the title, Belle. That squirrely little E at the end, turning those harsh consonants into something languorous. Without it, the tongue lolling uselessly against the sides of the mouth. Belle, très belle, belle comme une colombelle, comme une ombelle. Words tolling around her tongue. And the French word for it, Madame went on, is cloche, as in that hat you're wearing. Cloche, cloche, ne m'approche pas, ne me reproche pas. She signed the book. Bell well told, tale well told. Bell, cloche, jar, jar, something ajar, something jarring. Her head suddenly trapped and jangling inside the hat, a laboratory specimen amongst pipettes, pinch clamps, petri dishes, and gas taps.
A poem by Sue Foster celebrating the art of tattooing. Years ago, skin was brown or white, bare and gleaming soft. Identity marked by hair, mole, freckle. People embellished, wove diagonals, cheeks in hues of nature, druid runes on skin, shaman's badge of magic, make-up spectrums. Body art to attract a mate, for beauty, status or battle. Clowns and women, arsenic whitened faces, rouge flushed blushes, grey toil ingrained miner's flesh, pink scarred butchers and babies' birthmarks, all accidental. Today, delusions of Dali, Rousseau, O'Keeffe, self-expression, decorative creativity, art for vanity, cosmetically pricked brows, adult colouring in. People, words never to forget. Sharp mandalas, intense butterflies, smarting cartoons, stinging sentiment, fire dragons, or for healing, after breast reconstruction, surgically needled nipples, all pierced and stabbed in ink.
Writing at Walpole Old Chapel. With sun glistening on lichen older than me, I sit on a low flat tomb, September 2nd, blue cornflower in my hair, pulling out a poem, detailing my connection with land, spirit, trees. The graveyard, cradled in wildflowers, uncut grass, invites quiet contemplation, but consciousness flickers to the corner of my eye, cursorily registers a red car stopping along the road. I stay with head bent, pencil recording green twig words. When I look up, unhindered surprise overwhelms me. Pam, singer of intuition, an earth painter, stands tall, aglow with radiant smile, open arms. This unexpected birthday hug transforms my day. Replete, content, I finish my lengthy rough draft in the dissenter's graveyard, where those from long past left their stories, leave their unique inspiration.
My name's Lynn Nesbitt. Labyrinth myth. I've lost the thread. It's true. She said she lost the thread. What is it, the thread? Fine as silk, shiny as silver, brilliant as gold. It's taut and strong. How come she went so wrong? Well, let me tell you how easily you can lose your hold, particularly if you aren't so bold, when it comes to moving and proving that the thread leads to the truth. Truth isn't dead. Deep into the dark of cavernous cliffs, where ifs and buts fly like bats from precipitous ledges of legend and habit, you walk a slippery, slimy, rock-strewn way, adhering to that fine silk guide, looking for the truth of the Minotaur's hide. So hidden is the point of your visit. Is it this, or is it that? En route, and ever darkly blind, you flounder, and founder on lost words and rhythms. A schism appears, and there's no way across. No torch could distinguish the light from the wrong. And the thread of your musings just trails away.
Who would have thought to miss them? Those chill church halls of 2-bar fires, and icy toilets with high-level flush. Their kitchens full of prohibitions and cupboards packed with barrelware. Countless cups and saucers in sea green. Who misses tea urns? Ancient, modern, gushing out like spouting whales. Or Hessian bags of bargain coffee jars. Dark are the stage lights for the pantomime. Cheap glitter balls and temperamental strip lights. Faded the smell of celebration buffets, of chipolatas, mini quiches, spicy chicken wings. Silent, the dusty, out-of-tune piano, the keep fit beat. A birthday DJ's patter, meditation tapes. Loud clapping from the Slimming Club. And women's voices over washing up.
Hidden behind plastic shields and masks, they smile at me, but only with their eyes. There is love in each iris, lash and wrinkle wink. Who silently steps in the space between, being neither here nor there? He watches her laboured breathing as tubes that had filled her lungs with life are silently removed. I've breathed in and out without thinking for 67 years, but not now. I needed a machine, but not anymore. Alone now, and strangely calm. This is how it ends, the final cut. He looks at her gravely, and slides beside her under covers of night. I feel his presence as a chill, wintry. I'm not dressed for this journey. A lantern held aloft in the forest of firs, underfoot pine needles and snow, the smell of resin and the crack of footfalls on icy ground. He smiles, and I find myself smiling back. A new doctor without a mask, weary eyes that have seen this all before and see too much. I am weightless as a white feather, drifting skyward.
Lockdown time. Eating grapes and thinking shapes and tending to the roses, so delightful up our noses. And some writing poems and proses, busy me. And after lunch it's dozes, then walkers in the sunny, shunning everybody's COVID. Then to tea, and reading all the time, and TV till bedtime, and then reading till more sleeping with dreamings. And it's up in the morning, busy me, eating grapes and thinking shapes and tending to the roses, so delightful up our noses, busy me.
Ivor Murrell here, with a poem I wrote in lockdown, with the frustration felt by the ineptitude of our government. It's called The Real Terror. Forget advanced planning, just jump and react. We will win with short slogans, not thought. Let them wait for the benefits of neoliberalism to trickle out slowly, like piss down our leg. Keep the herd browsing soft pat from the press. Resurrect empire, the myth, not the mayhem. Warrior pensioners, rise to victory again. Our uniqueness protects us from virus attack. There is no society. Just save the economy. Preserve the wealthy sheltered offshore. To ease the tasks, simply fabricate lies. So easy and cheap. it comforts the masses. 60,000 and rising, without any effort. The world in awe of our apparent success. How we clapped each week for the unprotected, dealing with deaths caused by casual disorder. Ignore that ignorance is the real terror. Accept without question that Eton knows better, and the right must be broadcast in cultured tenor. Forget the need to share that only caring honours.
Courtyard Garden. This listening courtyard holds rills of water, fountains, a glassy pool of clouds. I admire the secret life of goldfish, follow every skittish turn. Their scales sparkle like the tiled mosaic, cladding the walls of this sanctuary. Its unruffled calm, mirror to my thoughts.
Woodland. What struck was the lack of trees, not even felled for tables. Geometric tunnels from a Mondrian bore down in the primary colours of grey, white and off-white. "I've come to see a friend," I said. After a day's work and an evening swim, the unit was still raining light like a child's crayon drawing of the sun. The only giveaway of the darkness inside was the emptiness of the corridors. A fat man, whose belly craved freedom as much as burgers and didn't like being squished under the CCTV desk, went through the protocol, and I felt the rush of excitement I imagine some felt visiting prison. It was no different, really. Locked in a dog's cage in the back of a black van during pickup, violently restrained, liberty stripped, your life like putty in their gloved hands, excitement turned to disgust and anger. I thought back to the Victorian asylums whose eugenics had won. I thought forward to my friend whose mind they tried to get to by controlling her weight. After an hour, with my friend fretting over if I'd had enough tea and chatting with a few other patients whose heaviness bungeed their faces long, time was up, visiting hour over. As I drove off, a strange symbol lit up, one I'd never seen before, and the car stopped. The thought of skipping it never entered my mind, solutions usually easier than that. And true to form, the flash disappeared.
Hello, my name's Sarah Impey. This poem is about willow trees, but really it could be seen as a snapshot of a society under pressure. It's called Crack Willow. Sculpted by gales, its grimacing bark is a fractured toothscape of splinters and shards, a shattered wound that gapes and contracts in the fractious wind, a gust away from a fatal split. The ratcheting friction of wood against wood explodes in a code that's consonant-rich. Dentals and fricatives, the clicks of a dolphin, ship timber creaks that stretch and stretch to the end of a gasp. Other trees answer to swell the cacophony, chafing, chattering, protesting, warning, like a rumour that ricochets through a crowd, across the floodplain. The willows are calling, take care, the air pressure's falling.
I'm Beth Sewell, and this poem is called This is the Silence. This is the silence. It has waited patiently for its moment, waited through the skirling atoms, through the churning birth of life, through its hum and buzz, its shriek and gurgle, whisper and whistle, groan and rumble and roar, the crescendo of chatter, siren scream and weapon thunder, the wailing and cheering, the airborne drone and the traffic clamour, the blare of business, boasting and moaning, bickering and squabbling, pleading and gloating, giggling, laughter and rippling music, through songs and promises and lies. Now it stands in the shadows, just out of the light, and murmurs, "Listen."
Marianne Kobe Johnson, I Will Do It in the Fullness of Time. This was written pretty much the beginning of lockdown. So, I will do it in the fullness of time. I will do it in the fullness of time. I will do it in a few years' time. I will do it when the time is ripe. I will do it when the time feels right, when mouse and will are one. Though heartbreak and muck coincide, the morning presents no divide, when painting and living are one, when at last I get up with the sun, when dreams and reality are one sometime, when there is no burden of time, we will meet up then. When our disconnects are whole once more, we will fly gracefully out of the door. When life resumes as before, joy fills the world and we can own up to our deep grief. And we go forth in this resurrect, where thought and action are one, and friendly disharmony reigns again in this too quiet place.
Refraction by Kate Foley. If I were to paint it, you'd never know where to find it. That source of the blaze on Cézanne's apples, that wisp on the neck of Vuillard's sewing woman, the deep shine of faith in the face of old woman reading, or the wink lurking in the folds of Rembrandt's bulbous nose. If you look, you can find it in music, on the bald head of a baby, in the curve of hands touching, and even in the shadow they make on the road. When the last pheasant is shot, and the sludge settles in the massive oil tanks waiting for nobody, when the last tree falls from the memory of no one, it will still be there, skittering, pottering, refracting.